Hey, it's the seasoned lady coming back at you with another video. So are you tired of the same shit? Are you tired of doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result? Now, you and I both know that's the definition of insanity. However, it's never too late to shift or pivot and try something new. So if you're interested in a few tips on how you can reinvent yourself and maybe start fresh without completely starting over, tune in and let's chat about it. Hey, once again, it's the seasoned lady coming back at you with another one. So those of us that are tired of doing the same old thing over and over again, feeling stuck, not knowing what we need to do, got a few tips for you. Number one, we have got to prioritize our health and wellness. We have got to prioritize our health and wellness. Mental health, especially. Now, I'm not saying to miss your appointments or stop taking your medications or anything like that. But what I am saying is that we have to prioritize our mental wellness. We got to stop stressing about the things that we don't have any control of and focus on the things that we do. And sometimes we just have to shift. We just have to pivot. We have to do something new in order to jumpstart ourselves to being motivated to keep going and to do all the things that we know that we have left to be done in this third phase of our life. Things that aren't dictated by anybody else, but things that we want to do for ourselves. Number two, we got to work on building connections. Most of us that have lived in the same place for a long period of time, we have built connections. We know who to go to for what, but we need to build some new connections. We need to make sure that we are staying connected with people that are doing the things that we want to do now, not necessarily all of the things that we used to do if you're looking to do something different and maybe pivot. We also need to reconnect. You know, sometimes we get caught up with a group of people because of things that are going on with our kids or things that are going on with work. And we've lost connections with the people that used to do the fun things that we want to do and hang out and all of those things because we were at one time too busy or we kind of forgot about what we love to do. But we need to reconnect with those people. So don't be afraid to make new connections or to reach back and reconnect with people that you used to really enjoy spending time with. Number three, you can't be afraid to pivot and change careers. I spent 20 years as a social worker with the state of Florida, advocating for the abused, abandoned, and neglected children in this state. And I can tell you that it was very rewarding, but it was also extremely heart-wrenching. And I had to do something different. Now, my very first job out of high school was in the bank. I was working in banking as a teller. And I have since retired from the state of Florida. I am back working in the financial industry for one of the largest credit unions in the world. And I absolutely love it. It is just as rewarding. It's a lot of fun, but not heart-wrenching as some of the cases that I used to have to deal with those kids. And that was a huge pivot for me because to do something for 20 years, you assume that that's what you're going to be doing until you retire. You get comfortable in those situations and you don't want to change. But it was definitely time for a change for me. And I am so glad that I made the change. Another thing you can do is if you're still invested in your career and you still very much enjoy it, you can try a side hustle. There are so many things that you can do to make passive income and still enjoy them. I've been a notary for over 20 years. So I have a notary business. If you need something notarized, you can reach out to me, and for a small fee, I'm happy to take care of it for you. I'm also trying out this YouTube thing. You know, I'm hoping to get monetized and to do this, for fun. I'd like to monetize and make money doing it, but I'm also looking for my tribe and looking for my people to connect with that are doing some of the same things that I'm doing. So, this YouTube thing can also be a side hustle. So if you aren't interested in changing careers completely, you can always just try something new. And who knows, you'll be connecting with people from all over the world that you wouldn't have had an opportunity to meet otherwise. Number four, I can't remember which one it is. I've got my notes down here and I'm looking at them. But we need to be focused on legacy at this point in our lives. We need to focus on what people will be saying about us when we're no longer here. If you care about that sort of thing, I care about legacy. And for me, it's not so much as what I have done or what I left, but how I made people feel that had an opportunity to experience me. That's extremely important to me. I want people to say that I was easy to talk to, that they could talk to me about anything, that I was easy to come to, and that I had a little bit of sunshine to provide for them. That's my goal here. That's what I'd like to do. My legacy will be my mouthpiece and how I made people feel. And I feel really good about that. And I'm passing it on not only to the people that I spend time with on a daily basis, but also to my YouTube family, to my YouTube tribe. I want to make each and every person feel special and unique and know that they can be whatever they choose to be and do whatever it is that they choose to do. So I am working on building that legacy at this phase of my life. I think my children represent me well. So I think that part of my legacy is done. They are young adults. They're living their lives and doing their own things. And now it's time for me to lay the foundation for my legacy. And I know that what's most important it's not what you said to someone or what you did for them, but how you made them feel. And I want to make people feel seen and heard and loved. So that's a part of my legacy, and that's what I'm working on building. Now, also a part of that legacy is that you can find someone to mentor. Volunteer. Share your wisdom. We are wise individuals. We have experienced lots of things, and I think we need to share that with the world, whether it's on YouTube or you join some group or organization where you can mentor someone or volunteer to help someone, where you can teach somebody some of the things that you know to prevent them from having to go through some of the things that you went through. We have a lot to offer this world as seasoned individuals, and I don't think we ought to waste our time. I think we ought to get right to it. And I also think that if we remind ourselves of all the things that we have to share and all of the experience and wisdom that we have, it will help shape us and make us shift to that new thing. So we're no longer feeling stuck or tired of doing the same thing. You know, right after my youngest child left home for college, I was an empty nester. And I found myself, and it was, just before COVID. So I found myself with all these big plans, all these things that I wanted to do. And then COVID hit and the world shut down and my children weren't here. They were in different places. So I found myself by myself. And I spent a lot of days working from home and then fixing something to eat and then vegging out on the couch to some series on Netflix or Peacock or Paramount or one of those networks. And then I go to bed and I get up and do it all over again the next day. And then the next thing I know is Friday. Now, I did make it my business to try to do something different on Fridays, to try to get out and hang out with the few people that I could hang out in the midst of, in the midst of that pandemic and everything. But I found myself in a rut doing the same thing over and over again. And I didn't like it. So I had to get unstuck and I had to start back doing things. So now I'm back to work a few days a week. I'm working on this YouTube thing. I'm trying to build my tribe and meet new people and do all of the things that I'm recommending for you. And I know that if you do those things, tomorrow and the next day and the next day, it's going to be different and it's going to be better. You can also plan to travel. I had all these big plans of traveling all over the world, but I decided to keep it a little bit more local. There are a lot of places in these 50 states that I've never seen before, and I plan to try to see some of those places and take some smaller trips because we live in a world of uncertainty right now with this new administration, and I'm not so keen on leaving the country because we aren't treating very well, and I don't know how they plan to treat us. But within these 50 states, I think there are a few places that I could go and visit and actually have a really good time. So if you're tired of the same old shit, it's time to do something different. Or you will find yourself feeling a bit insane. So take these little tips. Prioritize your health and your wellness. Build new connections and foster old connections. Change careers. Pick up a side hustle. Do something fun and focus on your legacy. Be sure to do that. So, until the next time, it's the Seasoned Lady. I'm going to ask you to do the same thing I always ask you to do. And I'd like for you to like my video, subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment. Tell me how you feel about these things. If you're feeling stuck, if you've done something to get unstuck, let me know. If you haven't, let's come up with some ideas. I have lots of video topics, but I want to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So hit me in the comments. So until the next time, I hope everyone has a fabulous afternoon.